it is the weekend, and when the weekend comes, so does Michael Snyder. We don't mean that in a salacious manner. We go out to the left coast of the United States and find out what's happening in films this week. Hi, Michael.
Hi, Alex, and hi, peoples. Greetings from Hollywood. And yeah, we're into the autumn, and I'm ready for some big old Oscar-style, serious, important movies, and we're getting stuff that doesn't quite come up to snuff yet. So I got my fingers crossed. But an interesting selection, a trio of new films that we should deal with in the here and the now. Let's go. American Assassin is the first out of the box here. It's not a great movie, but it's a good old-fashioned international action pick with new-fashioned villains and tech, and a plucky near anti-hero, Mitch Rapp, whose tragic loss in the first few minutes of the movie send him on a one-man crusade against the terrorist cell. In other words, things look nice and sweet and groovy at the top, and they go south very fast. Anyway, regarding American Assassin, I saw, I enjoyed, even if it gets ridiculous at times. Rapp is a character from a series of novels by author Vince Flynn, and he's played by Teen Wolf's Dylan O'Brien, who still looks almost too young to vote. Teen Wolf is that TV show about, I guess it's adapted from the Michael J. Fox movie. A young high schooler turns into a werewolf. Dylan O'Brien plays this character, but here he's playing, I don't know, I guess it never feels like Teen Bond or Teen Bourne, despite the youthful O'Brien, but still he looks awfully young. Nonetheless, looks old enough to be involved in the action, and it kind of works mostly due to the rat-a-tat-tat direction from Michael Cuesta, whose debut feature L.I.E. was an impressive and dark indie, but who's best known for his work on TV, and this is important, especially Homeland, and also he did Dexter episodes and 6 Feet Under. Also, top shelf co-stars, Michael Keaton and Sanaa Lathan are here to kind of give this a little gravitas. Keaton in particular is very well cast as your basic grizzled, tough as nails, takes no nonsense mentor to the green, unruly but talented Rapp. As a matter of fact, Keaton's character is the one tasked to mold Rapp from a blunt instrument into a sleek killing machine. So there's great set pieces here, there's tension, and there's also a wildly outlandish but exciting conclusion. It's pulpy, but it's a cut above a B movie. Still, you know what? Bargain matinee for widescreen immersion, or your big home screen if you don't want to pay the medium bucks to see American Assassin. Let's turn to something a little more, shall we say, art housey, and that would be Mother with an exclamation point. I'm not sure if director Darrenofsky's new movie Mother is meant as an extremely personal apology for narcissistic, egomaniacal artists who put their careers and the adulation of their fans and admirers above the needs of their supposed loved one or loved ones, but it is a very disturbing ride, as one would expect from the man behind Black Swan and Requiem for a Dream. But here he's going for some dark surreality, even more so than his other films like David Lynch or Louis Buñuel. It's not as organic or linear as Black Swan or Requiem for a Dream. The basics of Mother are these. A husband, played by Javier Bardem, is an author with writer's block. His wife, played by Jennifer Lawrence, appears to be, a decorator who's been fixing up their secluded house in the sticks. And then one day, a man, played by Ed Harris, shows up at their door claiming to be lost. And it turns out that he's a doctor and a big fan of the author and is having some medical problems of his own, so Bardem's character shows him compassion and hospitality. And soon the doctor's wife, played by Michelle Pfeiffer, who I haven't seen in a while, she shows up to pick up her husband and is also warmly welcomed by the author, to the increasing consternation of Lawrence's character. Trouble ensues and escalates. Things get crazier and more harrowing. Lawrence is put through the grinder and does as good a job as can be expected, while Bardem, Harris, and Pfeiffer take turns pushing her. Everybody's, bringing their A game. The cast also features some, shall we say, interesting performances by Domhnall Gleeson, who has been in a variety of cool movies, a talented British actor, and is also going to be seen as A.A. Milne in Goodbye Christopher Robin. He's here. Stephen McHattie is here, and whoa, Kristen Wiig shows up. Ultimately, Mother seems to be about Aronofsky's self-aggrandizing worldview, for better or worse. It's scattered and weird and scary and silly and very over the top. I saw someone call it torture porn as I left the screening, and I wouldn't go that far. But yes, it gets really grisly. If you go to see it, you may come away pissed or impressed or confused, but it will definitely elicit a strong reaction. Me, I had problems with it after the fact. I was too dumbstruck during it to cogitate it all. You know, and I'm kind of a fan of his previous work, so calling me on the fence is just putting it mildly. Let's wrap up the new movie Carousel, the new movie parade, with Brad's Status. Ben Stiller, Jenna Fisher, Michael Sheen, Jermaine Clement from, among other things, What We Do in the Shadows, and, of course, Flight of the Conchords, and Luke Wilson are all here in this comedy about a man touring colleges with his son and reconnecting with an old friend who makes him feel inferior about his life choices. This mix of comedy and family conflict and midlife angst is well served by having a guy I think is increasingly off-putting, Ben Stiller, as Brad Sloan, a suburban dad and nonprofit fundraiser whose jealousy of his old college buddy's success is estranging him from his wife and especially his son. Things come to a head on the father-son trip to Boston to check out Harvard, which is the kid's first choice of colleges, and Tufts, which is Dad's alma mater, when Brad's call to Sheen's character, he, by the way, is a hotshot political pundit and best-selling author, leads to a reunion of the two men. Other than Fisher, who has the thankless job of playing Brad's wife back home, the small roles played by Clement, Wilson, and the movie's director-screenwriter Mike White really resonate. These are the guys he went to college with. We already know that Sheen is a pundit and author. The character played by Luke Wilson is a hedge fund manager who's apparently fabulously wealthy. And Jermaine Clement's character is an internet billionaire who's now living in comfort with two girlfriends in Maui. So it's pretty enticing stuff. Now, Mike White's character is a Hollywood director who's also living the high life. So it explains why the Brad character is jealous. He's terribly jealous. Mike White, by the way, has written cool movies such as School of Rock and Orange County and The Good Girl, and it may not be a groundbreaker or as funny as School of Rock, but White can add Brad's Status to his list of worthy movies, and he directed this one too. This will actually play well on video, but you know, you could go to the theater and support Mike White's art. He's a talented man, and Brad's Status works for me better than the other two films. What are you watching lately, buddy?
Nothing. You're the Worst, which last week I said was terrible, has gotten marginally better.
Oh, I thought last week was the important setup week. I did get to watch it, and I love the show even still. Have you had a chance to watch?
I think it's not the show it was. Okay.
Let's give it a few more episodes. May I ask you if you've seen The Deuce yet?
Yes.
And any opinion on that one?
Yeah.
You liked it?
Yeah. I mean, I lived it.
Basically, if people don't know, it's kind of a smart, seamy, and I guess a little sordid look at the porn industry, based in and around New York's Times Square district during the 70s.
It's something I was very intimately aware of, having done a thing called Midnight Blue circa 1974. And it's all very, very accurate, all very well-researched.
I'm kind of excited about it. I enjoyed the pilot. Maggie Gyllenhaal as a woman working in the porn industry in that era, James Franco.
No, she's not working in the porn industry yet. She's a hooker.
Yeah, well, that's like, let's put it this way: the sex trade. Okay.
Yeah.
I know where she's going because I've heard an overview of the plot. But James Franco plays twin brothers, and he does good work in this thing too.
Yeah, no, it's a good show. It's interesting. You know, certainly better than some of the stuff we've been getting lately. So you know.
Well, Good enough.
And
anything else?
my guilty pleasure is America's Got Talent, but so
yeah. Well, two of my friends, literally friends of mine, were on America's Got Talent this season and did not make it to the final cut, but they brought them back. I think Carlos de Antonis, the opera singing cab driver, and good old Ma Kitty are actually buddies of mine out here. It was so strange.
There wasn't an opera singing cabbie this year.
Yes, there was. Carlos de
there
Antonis.
wasn't. We've watched every episode, and I did not see one.
Well, you missed this one, my friend, and he was on it, and he's coming back, so keep an eye out.
I think you're talking about the wrong show.
Is it the one with Simon Cowell?
Yeah.
That's the one.
Well, I didn't. They're going into the finals now, and there's no cabbie.
He did not make the finals, but they are bringing him back for a curtain call. The audience loved him. He sang "Nessa Dorma." Is that the opera piece?
I have no idea. But anyway, that's kind of been a guilty pleasure of mine. Otherwise, I've been playing video games. So that's how boring television is this time of the year.
Come on, it's going to get better very, very soon. The return of Mr. Robot and
Mr. Robot, I thought, died in its second season.
I'm excited about the return of Berlin Station later in the autumn.
Never watched that.
This Is Us, The Crown. There's all kinds of good stuff coming up.
Well, The Crown was very good. This Is Us. I bet in the second year it gets so smarmy you can't stand it.
You could be right.
That's my bet. Yeah.
I'm not. The Good Place is coming back. I love that. What a high concept gamble, and it worked really well. I thought Ted Danson.
You're liking stuff that nobody else does. Anyway, listen, I gotta go here.
We'll see who likes what. And in the meantime, check me out on Twitter at Culture Blaster and on Facebook at Michael Snyder's Culture Blast page.
And there's more GABNet coming right up.